Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the South Coast Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go. Before I take my first shot, do not forget to check down in the video description down below. There you can find a link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy where you can sign up to get the updated text guides or maybe book a training session. Also, you will see the timestamps for this playthrough. The timestamps works like that you press the time and then you will get to that specific hole that is addressed afterwards in text. When it comes to expert here, it's going to be super important with the elevation adjustments, and it's also going to be important that we do push it push it a little bit aggressively here, so we do get ourselves into positions where it's going to bring opportunities. So the drive here, we're gonna start with that we're gonna play 20% downhill. Very important, otherwise we're gonna most likely have a problem with the curl here. And I'm going to play generally with an extra level 8. I'm not going to go into with Apocalypse and stuff, but of course if you play with an Apocalypse level 5+, then you should be playing that with that club. Red ring by the rough on the right with max topspin, which is 6 bars, and as much side spin to the right possible as well. Then we're going to play this one 5 rings, which is max numbers. Then I'm going to pull myself up into max position once again. I just wanted to start with the +2 yard mark before I adjusted. Max curl with extra level 8. And then we're gonna get our ball to be kind of close to the left side, but still having a little bit of room as the fairway slopes left to right. Worst case scenario, you might going to be getting the ball to bounce in the rough and roll out and still have a shot for the pin. From this position, 380 yards. We're going to play this shot 20% downhill. In the video here, you're going to notice that I'm going to miss my shot and it's going to look like it was over adjusted, which it was. Because I did play it 30% downhill. So that is super important for you to have in mind that this shot from this position is played 20% downhill. And the closer we are, the more aligned we are with being on a position where you have like a less downhill adjustment, if we say like that. And then if you are closer towards the rough on front, you play 10% downhill instead. Here I am going to play with a short iron, and that's, you know, and that's nice, and I really like that. I'm going to play with a thorn, give myself max backspin. In this case, I'm going to try to dunk it. Problem is though, is that I'm going to have to adjust so many rings here that it's going to be very easy for me to just slip a little bit with my finger to make me not getting it aligned in the way that I want it to. So I'm going to adjust, and you're gonna see me go to the left and go short. So the thing that tells me there is that I'm not straight with the wind arrow, combined with that I'm over adjusting, playing at 30%. You can play this one in many different ways. You can go with a rough bump with a hornet if you are a little bit further up. Should be having enough distance for it. Also, you go with a standard approach, you know, with backspin, approaching the pin directly. It's going to be an eagle that is going to be possible. Not a must eagle, but it's definitely going to be a possible one. So, now, hole number 2. Hole number 2, and I'm going to play with a quarterback. And once again, I'm going to play with a kingmaker. And it's important to have in mind that I'm playing with a kingmaker here as a general ball in expert. Kingmaker and titans. And the only reason I would be choosing a different ball would be, if so, a berserker or maybe a lower power ball. I would never spend any special balls. I mean special balls which you can only buy in deal packages from the game makers. That's because I do want to find a way for us to play with the balls that we can access in the game without having to spend money on buying a package. So, quarterback, and I'm going to play it's going to look strange with the ball guideline here, but take a look at it now. First, I'm going to play with the 5.5 bar backspin and 4 bar side spin to the left, using the red ring by the rough there on the left. You can see here, rough on the left with the second bounce on the fringe. And you can see here with the ball guideline going a little bit further. Then we're going to play it medium numbers with a 30% over adjustment, which is going to be 10.4-ish. Yeah. And from this position, I'm not going to go with any curl, anything. The compensation I do for the push that we're going to get from the wind is what I do while using so little side spin. And you can see here that I'm coming in very nicely and coming in straight at the pin. Problem is I'm using too much backspin. So we're going to want to play with 5 bars of backspin instead of 5.5. Then we most likely would be spot on there, guys. Hole number 3. Here I'm playing with a kingmaker once again. We don't want to reduce the wind, but still want to have a power 3 ball. And you can see that we actually can reach over there directly, which is awesome. Using a tiny bit of topspin, we don't need to push that hard. And you can, yeah, we're gonna come to the second shot here, but I'm stretching my adjustment out. You can see there's where I want to bounce. Then I adjust my rings from that position, which is going to give me around 5 rings. In this example, I'm playing it 20% downhill. 20% downhill, max curl with X my level 8, and you can see I'm coming in, I'm hitting the intended spot there, and rolling myself very nicely towards the top there. From this position, we can play with a sniper, we can play with a cataclysm. If we would be going shorter, we might want to play with a sniper with topspin instead. And so I would say the thing that I do here, which is something that is not a mistake maybe, but maybe a little bit too conservative, is that I'm playing with a cataclysm and give myself a lot of distance. But we can definitely play with a sniper here, and in my opinion we need to play with a sniper as well, due to the fact that we're going to have such a nice position with the ball guideline, with our club, that we're going to be able to get the ball in the hole with a much easier way using a sniper. If you are wanted to play on the left side, this is important. I don't know why you should be wanted that, but if you want to, you're going to have to over adjust 10%, not 20. So even though you maybe have a text guide that says 20, but left side is 10%, not 20. So you can see here how much distance we have here. And I'm going to use side spin to the left, using a little bit of backspin, but you're going to notice that I'm going to come in very hot here. And that kind of speaks to, once again, that it's hard to read the ball guy line on a cataclysm, even though it's already in level 6. So the best thing here, in my opinion, would be to use a sniper. It's going to be much easier for you to dial this shot in. Hit about perfect, and you're gonna see here, we're gonna come in a little bit too hot here, but that really doesn't matter. So we roll to the frame, it's gonna be a super easy wedge, and we're gonna secure the eagle. But definitely, in my opinion, a possibility for us to make an albatross there. But once again, use the sniper. The adjustment for the second shot is no elevation adjustment for hole number 3. Hole number 4. Hole number 4, we're going to play it from the pad up there. And the reason I'm going to play it there is because that's going to be the best spot to play it with. The sand bump here is going to most likely put yourself in between clubs if you're not using a special ball like a power 1, win 4, win 5 ball. So our opponent here is going to go with a turkey ball. That's not the wrong ball in my opinion, but so getting it very close, very nice shot from our opponent here, very nice shot. So my turn, and time now. I'm playing with a katana here. I don't want to go in between clubs, and if I'm going to play with a kingmaker or a titan, I might be, because I'm playing power 3 ball. Max side spin right, 1.5 bar backspin with my katana here. I'm going to play this one in minimum distance with a 30% over adjustment. So when this is going to be minimum distance with a 30% over adjustment, it's going to be basically 1-on-1. So you're going to see here, we're going to play 10.6 rings, so 1-on-1 plus 0.2. And now I hit this ball great to the right, so it's not going to really go where I want to. It's going to bounce, and it's going to come in a little bit hot. But still, they're working with the pin. And, you know, maybe with a 10 mile per hour, we'll be going with 2 bars backspin, and with a little bit less, we'll go with 1.5 bar. something to feel for there, but then a great shot really doesn't tell us that much, unfortunately. Hole number 5. Then we're gonna play this one 0% downhill and uphill. So we're just gonna play it as it is. Max topspin with extra level 8. 6 bars is that. Then I'm going to adjust my rings here. And then in the end, we're not gonna push the target forward, you're just gonna leave it be. So 6 bars topspin is going to be enough. And I'm also using as much side spin to the left. I don't know why I'm doing this, but side spin to the left possible. So we are just following the fairway there, making sure that we're staying on fairway, even though with a great right. Now we are in a perfect spot, close to the right side and close to the top without being that close. Our opponent is going to play with a kingmaker, and that's not wrong that either. But I do feel here that a Titan is the best ball, as it gives us power, but it also gives us a little bit less wind resistance now when we do have tailwind. So for the second shot, it's going to help us better with having more wind, so we don't have to overpower anything or like just a tiny little bit instead of having to overpower a little bit more. Less overpower we can use, the better it's going to be. Oh, so close there. Did get to cut her off there in the end, but still gonna be fine. The second shot here is going to be played uphill. I played 5% uphill, so minus 5%. And I'm going to go max topspin with my club. So if I have the cataclysm or the big dog, doesn't really matter. I'm going to go max topspin. The more topspin you have, the easier the shot is going to be. And let's say you have a lower level big dog or lower level cataclysm, would be better played with the horizon. Actually, because it has a lot of topspin. And in this case here, I'm just going to adjust my rings. And then I'm going to push up my target a little bit in the end to give myself a little bit more distance and then take my shot. So here I'm going to put it up in plus 10. So instead of plus 12, I'm going to plus 10 with my yardage. I'm not using more than a little bit of curl, but I would advise you to go with almost half a ball of curl here, because the fairway slopes a little bit to the right here. And sure, now this shot is not going to give us, any problem. We're going to get this wedge in the hole all the time. But like if you can go with a little bit more curl, we would be more straight ahead and might gonna make that ball to go get to the pin. So our opponent plays with the Guardian. That's the wrong club in my opinion. We do need more topspin. Really do need more topspin here. Even though the Guardian has the distance, but topspin is a key aspect here, everyone. So, and once again, it doesn't really matter what I have as a club. You pick the club that gives you the most topspin and go from there. So, even though this from the bunker edge here, this is a good shot with the Guardian. But you can see what the topspin makes all the difference in the world. Like max overpower shot, not even close. We didn't have to overpower anything, and we got it very close to the green, and therefore secured the eagle. So the club selection, and of course the ball selection, but especially the club selection for the second shot here is going to be a key aspect if you're gonna get this ball in the hole or not for an eagle. We get it in, and boom! We take the eagle and go to hole number 6. Hole number 6, I love this one. This is going to be, in my opinion, a must eagle. And I say that because I guess I've been dropping this one a little bit already. But I do believe this is going to be a must eagle here. So we can... And the thing that we're going to do here is that we'll have to play close to the right edge. And you can see our opponent is playing with an Apocalypse. And for those of you that do have an Apocalypse here, it's going to have a little bit of an advantage due to the curl. And it's going to be fine to do that with other clubs as well. But if you do have an Apocalypse, I do want you to go with approximately 1.5 ball curl outside the adjustment range to the right. And if you do have like a Thor's Hammer or an Extra Mile level 8 or Extra Mile level 7, you go with max curl. We do want to try to get a more aggressive line here, so we can get up to short iron range and go for the dunk. Max topspin, which is 6 bars, and as much side spin to the right possible. The Kingmaker is the correct ball here, and now I'm going to adjust. So, and you see here I'm having half of the blue ring, a little bit less than half of the blue ring, but the initial aiming point should be with half of the blue ring inside the rough on the right. Then I'm adjusting down my rings and then I'm going to put it up approximately 1 ring to just give myself a little bit more distance. I hit the ball perfect with max curl with extra mile, can't go more than I did here. We bounce very nicely and we get it over to the fairway very easily. You could give yourself a little bit more room if you want to. You can see I was kind of close to bounce directly into the rough, so I could almost be letting that ball, like that adjustment, go after I made my initial rings. So, but now we got up into a very nice position. And this is going to be in dunk range for me, especially with the wind that we're having, where we're having more crosswind than we're having tailwind or headwind, or a headwind in this case. Then a dunk is going to be, in my opinion, a little bit more reliable than a regular shot. You decide yourself if you do want to go with a regular shot, but if you're gonna go for the dunk, you do like this. Max backspin first and foremost, super important. So if we do miss, we're going to get the ball to bounce on the green and then stay on the green and not roll too far into the sand. Then we're going to be in different positions, and that's important that you do take a look. Am I minimum or medium, maximum distance of my shot? Aiming with you can see the blue rings should be at the back of the cup, inside the cup but at the back, with the middle of the target, you know, just in front of the pin. That's your target. Then you're not gonna go too long, then you're not gonna go too short, and then we of course need to hit the ball perfect. And then we're gonna get it in the hole. Boom! Hole number 7. And before I take hole number 7, also the adjustment for the dunk, minus 10%. We played uphill, so subtract 10% to your adjustment. Max side spin, half a bar of backspin. And now we're gonna look for a target here with our club, which is going to be the white ring, like half of the white ring down into the sand with half of the white ring to the right, inside the rough on the right. And you can see on the ball guideline as well, is pointing straight at the pin, basically. And then I'm going to adjust for maximum distance with a 10%, with a 30% over adjustment, not 10. So 30% over adjustment with max distance number. I did go with a slight amount of curl to the right to just help my ball coming in there a little bit. You can see here we're coming in very, very nicely. The thing that I would like you to do is to stay away from using backspin altogether and just play it without. That's going to get your ball towards the pin, and it's definitely going to help you to get it, hopefully, maybe in the hole. So our opponent playing with a navigator. I do want you to play with a ball that gives you a lot of side spin here. And have in mind that if you're playing with a katana that gives you more wind, but still the same type of side spin and stuff, then you might have to go with a little bit more curl to the right, combined with actually using a little bit of topspin. Because the strength in the wind is also a key aspect that we do forget about sometimes, because some adjustments are kind of meant for, especially on this one, the ball is going to have the bounce is going to have a bigger effect with stronger wind, of course. With a dunk, it doesn't really matter. We adjust the rings, we go directly to the hole. But if we do have a stronger wind, it's definitely going to be a tough shot to get the bounce exactly in the way that we want to. Hole number 8, par 4. Par 4. And I like this hole, I really do. I think this is a very, very nice par 4. If we do make a good drive, we will in that case be having no problem whatsoever to get this ball in a good way towards the pin. But if we do miss, we're gonna have a problem, especially when we're going to have a little bit of headwind for the second shot. But I'm not gonna go ahead of myself. So our opponent goes with the extra mile, gonna go there to the left. I don't really get that, to be honest. I understand that if we do miss on the left side, it's going to be a little bit easier, especially if we, not here though, but if we miss further in front, we're gonna have an easier time to reach for the green with a rough iron. But I do believe that this drive is a drive that we should be able to handle. So we're gonna be in medium distance here. That's at least what I'm going to adjust for. So I'm going to play this one with 5 bars top spin, and I'm going to go with 2 bars of side spin to the left. So you can see I played it 4.5 bar, but you know, 5 bars will be good as well. 4.5 to 5 bars if we're gonna be picky then. 2 bar side spin to the left, aiming straight down the middle there. And I'm going to adjust for 4.2 rings here. No curl whatsoever, just gonna let the ball do its job in the air. We hit it perfect. And we're gonna bounce over here to the fairway, to the other fairway here. And gonna roll very, very nicely. You can see we definitely have room for half a bar to 1 bar more topspin, but why push it if we don't have to? We're still gonna have a very nice sniper going towards the pin now. So, and the thing that I meant, like if you miss on the left side, but up there where our opponent now are aiming, then you can reach for the green with a rough iron without any problems. But now, going so short in the rough, it's not going to be a possibility whatsoever to reach for the green into. And that's going to be a bummer, because this is one of the easier holes in my opinion. The par 4s is kind of easy if we do make the drive. So, sniper. And I'm not gonna play this one uphill. I know we could play it uphill, but my numbers is not going to be for uphill numbers. It's gonna be for regular numbers. And even if it says -5%, you can definitely play with a -5% as well, which says in some of the text guides. But I'm going to start playing and pushing for not playing with any uphill or downhill adjustment whatsoever. Medium numbers. We're gonna play it medium distance. I'm gonna play it 7.4. 7.4 rings, aiming straight at the hole. 2 bars backspin is gonna come in here, bouncing, get in the hole. We still missed it there to the right. No problem though. We're still going to secure a safe birdie. But once again, it's a nice hole. I really like it. Hole number 9. Okay, what to do now then? Now I'm actually going to play left side, and the reason I'm going to play left side is because of the wind. I do believe that this wind here is going to help us big time. You can do 2 ways. Either you go with max overpower, trying to get over the rough directly by using a power 3, power 4, power 5 ball, or you will use your club and then bounce before the rough. And in this case, I'm going to bounce before the rough. I haven't really decided what to do. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting into the rough on either side after I then bounce over the first piece of rough. You do need a ball, which is a power 3. You also need a ball that gives you as much side spin to the right possible. A navigator won't cut it. You will most likely roll into the rough there to the left, as the fairway slopes slightly to the left there. So make sure that you think about that when you're playing that drive. So extra mile of 8 once again, and of course if you do have an apocalypse with more topspin, it's definitely going to be a little bit easier for you and also gain more distance. But I will be playing this shot even with a lower level extra mile as well. And you can see I'm using a Titan because I do want to have a little bit more wind. I'm gonna stretch it out and just to try to picture myself where my ball is going to roll or bounce. And then we're going to adjust the rings that we're having. And then in the end, I'm going to push myself up into a max distance again. But I did decide to go to plus 11 yards. So my trick here is to not push up. I was on my way up, and I would say you don't have to push up. You can just adjust from max overpower position, and then you're going to be very close there. Max curl to the right. And now we're gonna have no problem to stay on the fairway, even though it rolls. So with a great shot there, we're definitely gonna be having a hard time to stay on the fairway there. I mean, great shot left. So second shot here. And now I'm gonna go for the rough bump. I really like this rough bump, even though I'm not gonna play it correctly, but it's definitely going to be a rough bump that that is going to be enjoyable to play. So the thing that we're gonna look for first, where are we? We are going to be in max distance here. And that's at least the numbers I'm going to play with. And you can see the bunker that you do have on the right here is really not in bunkers. It's more like a hard bunker or whatever. It's still gonna roll out from there. Aiming straight at the pin with the ball guideline here. And now I'm using the catalyst here to just give myself the distance. If you would be more on the right side of the fairway, you would have no problem to reach with a sniper. So now I'm going to adjust for maximum numbers, but I'm also playing 30% extra, which is wrong. We only play 10% extra from that lower point that we are here on the left side. that's super important, because you're gonna notice here that I'm going to miss to the right. Pretty much, actually. And so we're gonna play 10% from the left side going forward. And downhill, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was a playthrough for Expert Division in the South Coast Tournament. Once again, check down in the video description down below. And there you can find timestamp for all the holes. Also link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Check it out if you do want to get the updated text guide for the tournament. My detail adjustment that I will reveal Tuesday, always on a Tuesday during tournament week. So, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to hit the thumbs up before you go if you like the video. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the South Coast Tournament.